Man, I know I can't be the only Jet fan here that feels drained, mentally exhausted after watching that offense performance. Right, the Jets lose to the LA Chargers 27-6, dropping to 4-4 on the season. I mean, man, we were everybody was talking about this in the preview video, right? We all knew the magnitude of this football game. We knew the level of importance, right? Potential playoff implications, wild card race, conference record, all these different scenarios that this game will, impact as the season goes on, late December, January. I mean, we all know that the AFC is loaded from top to bottom, like seriously from top to bottom. This playoff picture is completely wide open. And on one hand, right, the silver lining here, the Jets are 4-4. We're 500. We're still in a great position moving forward. But oh my, watching the offense today was just, it was brutal. And I hate to be blunt. I don't want it to come off as rude or anything like that, but it was just brutal, right? When we watched this team beat the Eagles going into their bye week, we were 500, just on top of the world, right? The Jets are back. Yeah, we're banged up. Yeah, we got Zach Wilson at quarterback. Rodgers is down, but we're finding ways to win football games. And admittedly, the Jets were on a 3-game win streak. That's awesome. They were finding ways to win. But I gotta say, post-bye, right, 2 weeks to prepare for, at the time, I believe it was the 1 or 2 win New York Giants. I believe it was 2 wins. You're thinking as a Jet fan, okay, we are in a great position to kind of reset in the bye week, really take a look at the offense, nail down the problems, figure out what we're doing well, continue to build, and grow in those areas. And it just seems like the offense is getting worse. I don't know how that's even possible. Right? It's the same issues every single week, coming out slow, coming out and just falling right on your face early on. I think today tonight rather, we were down 14 points by the end of the first quarter. We were talking about in the preview video, hopefully the Jets could have, 7, 10, 14 points by the end of the first quarter. That was flipped, right? We had none. Again, the LA Chargers had 14. So right out of the gate, it was just a continuation of what we've been seeing. What was another big area of concern? Third down struggles. The Jets are one of, if not the worst football team on third down conversion percentage, right? Conversion rate. What were we today? 3 of 17. 3 of 17. And the LA Chargers do not have a top 10 offense. Man, just looking at these numbers here, it stresses me out, right? What were we in the red zone? 0 for 2. I felt like really that last drive, as the seconds were kind of just, dwindling down, it was just, I was just sitting there like emotionless, right? And of course, the Jets can't get in for 6, or, even at the end of the game. It was just absolutely brutal, right? The play calling, Zach Wilson holding on the football for way too long, turned the ball over 3 times. The Chargers didn't turn over. I don't believe they turned it over 1 time. We were flagged 8 times, gave up 40 free yards. It's just sloppy football, undisciplined football. Again, I don't want to sit here and be blunt, be rude or anything like that, but it's just the same problems are occurring every single week offensively. And, naturally, I'm kind of a defensive guy. I prefer that side of the football, always have. I think I always will as well. But, I got to be honest, I'm at the point as a fan where it's like I'm watching these defensive performances and I'm like, it feels like we're wasting a really good defensive unit, right? Defensive performances week in, week out. And yeah, we were on the 3-game winning streak. So there was, you can make an argument there was a method to the madness there, but it's not a consistent formula for winning. You can't bank on the defense to hold opposing offenses, especially in this day and age where the game is tailored towards points, touchdowns, drives, staying alive. Franchise quarterbacks pretty much on the majority of teams now. Superstars, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. We've played all these different guys. I'm sure I'm missing, a few. Dak Prescott, like these are good quarterbacks here. And, this Jets defense they're showing out. They're putting out good performances. I know the Chargers dropped 27 here, but 7 of that, or I guess 6 of that came on the first quarter punt return. And it's just tough to ask the defense, hey, can you limit these explosive, high-flying offenses to 13 points, to 17 points to 20 points because our offense just simply can't get in the end zone. We aren't good in the red zone. We aren't good on third down. We are discombobulated. We are confused. We have guys dropping multiple passes. Again, Zach Wilson holding onto the football for way too long. Injuries on the offensive line. Offensive line not producing whatsoever. Can't really establish a running attack. It's just constantly playing from behind, starting out slow. Undisciplined football, right? Undisciplined football being flagged over and over and over and over again. It's just, I got to be honest, it does make you concerned, right? As a Jet fan moving forward about the current state of affairs of the offense. I mean, listen to these numbers from Justin Herbert. 16 of 30, 136 yards, no TDs. That's a completion percentage just above 50%, 136 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, which is solid. But I mean, and we lose 27-6. I mean, that you can't really ask a defense to do much more if you ask me. I mean, man, just glancing at these numbers here, it just kind of, like, it makes you sick, honestly. Because, again, the defense, we had multiple guys getting after Herbert. We had multiple guys come down with sacks. Will McDonald got his first one. Jermaine Johnson looked like a missile flying off the edge. Was the defense perfect? No, but in my opinion, they did enough to win the football game. Let me just quickly pull up the drives here, right? I really want to get the drives up just to, because I know it really felt like the Jets were just starting out just punt. Okay, here we go. We had the punt return touchdown off the Jets, which first drive of the game. Fumble on the next drive. Fumble on the following drive. Punt, field goal, punt, field goal to start the second quarter, punt, fumble, turnover on downs. That's the game. It's just unsuccessful, right? And Saleh, Hackett, these guys have talked about the slow start offensively. Like, everybody knows it at this point. Struggling in the first quarter, struggling on third down, struggling in the red zone, struggling to, like, consistently put up good quarterback production, good quarterback numbers, even the eye test. Zach had moments tonight where he was slinging the ball around the field, which is great, but it's like, can we get that throw to throw? Can we get that drive to drive? Can we get that week to week? And that's the element that we're all missing here is Jets fans watching, right? That's the part that just drives you up a wall. And again, you have the defense playing well. Overall this season, the special teams unit has been, in my opinion, fantastic. Morstead, Zerline, punt returns, Gibson, punt coverage, Irv Charles really coming on the scene, as a gunner. Like, there's a lot to like about this football team. I've seen a lot of people online saying, like, oh, the New York Jets are not a good team. They're not a good football team. There's so many problems. I got to be honest, I frankly disagree. We're 4-4 right now with a great defense and a great special teams unit. But because the offense just continues to come up short every single week, or I don't want to say come up short, but I guess be the anchor of the football team. That's the side of the football that's holding the overall team back, right? If we could just get a consistent 24, and I know Aaron Rodgers might be coming back and whatnot. I still have concerns over the offensive line, but these problems, Saleh's been here for 3 years. This is year 3. These are problems that we're continuously seeing week in, week out, year in, year out. Everybody blamed LaFleur, and he got fired. Immediately got picked up. Now is the LA Rams offensive coordinator. LaFleur took the blame. He went out. It was all on him. He's the reason why the offense was unsuccessful. He's the reason why Zach Wilson couldn't develop. We don't trust him moving forward. I don't want to say he was the scapegoat, because at the end of the day, LaFleur did have, part in the downfall of last season, for sure. But it's not like he was the only one. It did kind of seem like it was a witch hunt against Mike LaFleur in the offseason, coming from the Jets' perspective, right? What we were sold, as outsiders looking in here. So, to see the Jets' offense just continue to just roll out clunker after clunker, it's just, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I am concerned. I am concerned about the state offensively. What do you do to change these things? Personally, I really want to see them emphasize the downfield passing attack. The 15-yard box offense, I'm just not a fan of. I think defenses can read Hackett like a book. Especially if you have injuries on the offensive line, you can just pin your ears back and go. I mean, Joey Bosa was just wreaking havoc tonight. It was brutal. By the way, of course, we have to credit the Chargers. I mean, they play with a level of like, they were just a violent. Like it felt like every single time like the Chargers made a tackle, like there was just a certain level of like tenacious play, right? There was just a level of violence, a level of aggression that the Chargers played with defensively that, taking my jet hat off for a second, like I can admire. I do like how defenses play like that. I felt like their secondary looked really good. They were kind of all over the place in a good way, blanketing wide receivers, but it is what it is. Here we are again talking in another recap video. This time we lost, talking about offensive struggles. We've made it work against the Giants. We made it work against the Denver Broncos. We made it work against, the Eagles, to a certain degree. But at some point you have to call it like you see it, and it's just not a consistent level. This is not a formula of winning football games. Hey, the defense has to play lights out, all pro level. You have to get after the quarterback, neutralize the passing game, stop the run, do all these different things extremely well, because the offense is just so far behind that they can, we're hoping, can just do the bare minimum and score, two TDs and a field goal. It's not acceptable, right? I mean, Joe Douglas has been here for years now, invested $350 million plus in this team, in free agency and in trades and whatnot. 6 first-round pick. Like, there's so many assets, so many things invested in this football team. We need to pick up the pace offensively, And again, is it all on one player? No. Is it all on one coach? No. Collective unit here, but it just makes you scratch your head. Like, we got to at least try something else. So, 4-4, still alive, of course. AFC's stacked. Hopefully, we bounce back next week. Got some cool videos planned throughout the week, and man, just looking at these drives here, just brutal. I can't even look at it anymore. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. By the way, if you're sticking around, this is being filmed right now at 11:30. After the Jets just lost 27-6. I appreciate you sticking around. It really, really means the world. Thanks so much, and as always, go Jets.